Hey everybody, NecroVMX here. Welcome to my channel, and you are listening to POTATOCAST. It has been a while since my last episode of POTATOCAST, and as many of you know, I am now on a new computer, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about that. But the bulk of the episode, I'm also going to go over your questions and comments and stuff from the last episode. I'm going to have to bring that up. But the bulk of the episode is going to be about me and some of the shit that I'm going through. And, yeah. So let's go and, let me read your comments from the last episode. So, there aren't that many of them. Wow, January 16th was the last time I was able to do POTATOCAST. That was 2 months ago. So let's see, Hawkstar5088 says, I would recommend a Wii U when you have some extra money, of course. It has some great games, plus the whole shared account with 3DS. I think it's pretty cool. Also, I think the name Tater Tots is awesome. I think it's pretty awesome. As for Wii U, I don't know. I mean, I want it, but at the same time, there's other things that I want more. So, yeah. Brandon Kaplan. Hey, Brandon. He says, 3DS Bravely Default seems fun. Has some nice mechanics. Have Ocarina, Link Between Worlds, Majora's Mask, and Spirit Tracks. Just got Skyrim and Soul Calibur 5. He's talking about Xbox there. Fun stuff. Do you watch Netflix? Do you happen to watch Making a Murderer? Thoughts if you have. Tater Tot. I do have Netflix. I never watched Making a Murderer. I don't even think it's called that. Is that what it's called? Making a Murderer? I watch House of Cards. That's a pretty good show, and occasionally I'll watch movies and stuff on there. But oh, it is Making a Murderer. All right. The Undertaker says, when it comes to who should be in Smash Brothers, and I know we kind of touched up on this on Skype, but this is just my opinion, Necro. I still think Captain N would... No! That's like the worst idea ever. I already told you why that's a terrible idea. All right, we're Captain N. No, terrible. Let's see. I so don't care about Captain N. It's awful. That show sucked. Montage, I would recommend you... Okay, let's see. Oh, as for McJuggernuggets, I'm looking forward to seeing the McJuggernuggets series you got planned. I've done quite a few of them already. You actually made another good point how in shows, because it's all scripted, you kind of... Dude, have you heard of punctuation? Wow. This is so hard to read because of that. There's like an occasional comma, but that's it. It's like one long run-on sentence. You actually made another good point, how in shows, because it's all scripted, you still kind of relate to the characters and what they go through. Me and a friend of mine on Facebook are so into the series and talk about it a lot and wonder what's going to happen next. Jesse's Family does a real good job in acting and all this. It is true, they do. Which makes it look almost real. You can relate to the characters. Anyway, Necro, I'm glad to hear you're doing all right. And I hope everything continues to go well for you in the future, my friend. Take care. Okay, thank you. Fradomon says, I forgot to answer my comment from the last video. I might have missed it. That was an awfully long comment, so I understand if you didn't have the time to read it. Either way, good episode. Hashtag TaterTotNation. Did I miss a comment from you? Let's see. Well, I'll come back to that, because there's only two more here. Jazzmaster909 says, the Tater Tot Army. Yes, count me in. Well, you're in. And Luke now says, don't mind my last comment. Glad Tanya's in better shape. Not so glad about your health situation. I've been in enough hospitals to be able to form an idea about what happened to you. And I have given an update on that, and I believe you said that you kind of figured what it was, that it was the HIV exposure. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, because it ain't over, apparently. I don't have HIV, but it ain't over. I may have not been watching this channel a lot these past few months, but I sure as hell have great memories of it and will always be a fan. Here's hoping for a great rest of the year for all you amazing people. Alright, so apparently Fradomon's telling me I missed a comment of his. Let's take a look. That's the January 9th episode, and let me see if I can find it. So generally speaking, try to read them all. It's not here. Okay. It's not there at all. Wait, did it get marked as... Okay, alright, that's why. It got marked as spam. Let me unspam it. Okay. Alright. Come on now. Do this to me. And go back and read it now. He says, I myself normally have very little money, so when I did have extra a while ago, I donated to Hitomi around $10, I believe, through PayPal. Had I come into money the past month or so, I probably would have donated to Tanya too, but I just simply didn't. It sucks to see causes like these made for good people who need the help, and being unable to help some, but others, not others, just due to timing. And that's true, and that's, I think, you know, it all worked out well for Tanya, though. So, I mean, I'm sure you know that by now. I hope she gets everything settled, and the money she has gotten through donations truly helps here. Well, you know, she has gotten everything settled. They're still looking to get out of there, but, you know, they won the court case. So, as for the McFucker Nugget shit, I like that. I'd personally love to see you rail him in one long video. Well, I didn't do that. I'm doing this as a series. And you've seen, if I did it as one long video, it would have been hours long. And nobody would have watched it. And plus I want to continue to do it because he's still making videos. But anyway, let me finish what you're saying. This is a long comment, but let me read the rest of it. I'm someone who can sit through a long video and has a preference for them, so being able to sit there and get it all out once, I feel that drives the point home a bit better. Plus, why give the guy even more videos with his name in the title? Well, that's sort of the idea, though, because if you think about it, Jake, I know your name's Jake, if you search for his name and a bunch of my videos come up, it's easier for those videos to get attention and for people to be exposed to the fact that he's fake. So that was also a reason that I made that decision. Knowing YouTube's shitty algorithms, it'll end up making him even more popular. You know. Here's the thing. I don't want people to stop making his videos. I just want him. I stop watching his video. I watch his videos all the time, but I just want him to admit that it's fake. To just say that it's a series. That's all. That's what I'm looking for. I also wanted him to stop doing fan mail, and he has recently stopped doing fan mail. I mean, he put in this whole thing where it's his dad's fault and all this shit, but really, I mean, he could have just gotten another P.O. box, no problem. And he says, "Oh, I don't have the money for it." You bullshit. I've proved way beyond the shadow of a doubt that he has lots of money. He makes lots of money. He may only get paid once a month, and that can be a pain in the ass. But I don't believe for a second that he can't afford a P.O. box. So he just wanted to end the fan mail, and I'd like to think that the increased scrutiny on things like this may have contributed to that. So let's see. I absolutely love your streams of Isaac, so it's cool to see they're coming to the channel every Saturday. Well, the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Saturdays, not streams. Those are recorded for YouTube. The streams are... See, I have two saves. I have my main save, and I have my kind of newer save. My main save is what I'm playing when I'm streaming. The second save is where I started from scratch, and that's what I do on Isaac Saturday. I definitely look forward to coming by for more streams in the future, too. Everything you end up doing is great purely because of the humor. You could play PETA games, and you'd make it look gold. I have played PETA games, too. I tried their ghetto version of Super Meat Boy once. Oh, it was bad, too. My game of the year, people may hate me for hyping up what is known by some as hipster trash, is definitely Don Tnod's Life is Strange. Love the game. I'm just glad you didn't say Undertale, to be honest. Love the game, love the story, love the characters. All year, of all the games I myself strictly played, I think that was the best one of them all. Though I only played about 5 to 7 of the new releases this year, so my opinion isn't the most valid, I suppose. Do you remember during New Year's stream, and we were discussing Undertale? It's funny you say Mortal Kombat X was your game of the year, because I've been seeing so many people putting Undertale as their game of the year, while absolutely burying Mortal Kombat X. Well, I just want to say, I want to cut in and say that I no longer consider Mortal Kombat X to be Game of the Year because I had some issues with the whole PC release being abandoned, and I decided it's Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is Game of the Year instead. But that being said, Undertale is not for me. It's a little too earthboundy. Even Tanya tried it, and she didn't like it. She actually got a refund. She played it for like 90 minutes and was like, yeah, no. So anyway, let me move on here. It's funny to think that a good game like Mortal Kombat X is more than likely being buried simply for being part of a series that's been very influential as opposed to being GameFAQs Game of the Year, and a game that's all about not hurting anyone. Really shows you that Undertale is a game of this generation. I don't know about that. I just think that it may be the Earthbound of this generation. I think that's what it is, and that's probably why I'm not too into it. Tanya's not too into it. I think it has a cult following that are very vocal about it, but other than that, I don't really think it's going to be remembered that much. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Glad to hear you putting over Black Ops 3. It was my favorite of the Black Ops series. It has the best story and possibly the best multiplayer experience. I don't play the multiplayer, but I'll take your word for it. Of any Call of Duty game released, deserves some mention as possible game of the year. I've got to say, without giving a huge exclamation for everything, my top 3 movies of the year are Jurassic World, Star Wars The Force Awakens, well, you wrote Star Wars, but I knew what you meant, and Ant-Man. I actually really liked Ant-Man. I wouldn't put it in my top of the year, but I really liked it. I actually have a copy of Jurassic World sitting on my desk right in front of me, but I still haven't watched it. So there's that. I didn't see much this year, but it looks like it's a decent year for movies. Hoping 2016 is good too. I'm waiting patiently for May. Cap and X-Men are going to absorb the fuck out of me. Great POTATOCAST. Okay, well, I'm sorry it took me, over 2 months to get your question, but it was marked as spam for whatever reason. So, yeah. Alright, so, I wanted to get that out of the way. There wasn't a whole lot of comments last time, because I really didn't talk about much. But I got a lot to talk about. I want to talk about the new computer, and what I went through with that, for those of you who don't. Well, I did do videos. I did do videos on my phone that kind of explained it as best I could, but I was trying to keep those videos short because they add up, the memory on your phone really fast. Although I do have a pretty big SD card. I don't know how it works with the videos, like if they know to go there. But anyway, I'm going to go through kind of everything that happened. So it started where I came home from work and I went to get on the computer, and what I saw was that it was not on. It was off. And my thought was, oh, must have had a power outage during the night, because I work from midnight to 8 a.m. Come home usually around 8:30, and look on the computer and it's off. So I figured might have had a power outage. I went to turn on the computer, and it gave me the whole Windows was not shut down properly, blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh yeah, this, because if you just turn off a computer without going through the proper shutdown sequence, that's what's going to happen. So everything came up. Everything was fine for about 5-10 minutes, and then everything started locking up on me. And all the programs started locking up. Everything started locking up, and I couldn't do anything. I could move the mouse. That's about it. So I had to hard reboot, which is where you hold the button down and you turn it off again, bring it on again, and the same thing happened, and it kept happening. And I couldn't figure out what was going on, and eventually I said, well, let me try it in safe mode, and I tried it in safe mode, and it came up in safe mode and worked fine. So then I went back, and I thought, well, maybe it just needs to go through a proper reboot cycle. So once I was in safe mode, I hit restart, and I had it reboot properly. Same thing happened. So I put it into safe mode with networking, and I Googled the problem, and I tried to look at, a few technical forums, and, apparently it is something that has happened to other people in the past. The problem that I ran into was that every time I saw one of these threads on these forums, and there were various ones on various forums throughout there, because what I was Googling was Windows 7 locking up after, or freezing after startup. And I found a lot of people who had the same problem, who described it exactly as I had it. And the problem was, all these problems were fixed, but it was a different fix for each person. So I'm trying all sorts of different shit, and nothing's working for me. And I actually started a thread at one of those forums, and I was working through the problems there, and I was rebooting and trying again. And eventually something must have worked, because all of a sudden everything was working fine. And I was like, I don't know if it's fully fixed or whatnot, but all of a sudden it was working fine. I was in normal mode. I was able to browse around. I was able to do things. I started doing videos again. I went back to Comic-Thon 3. And by the way, Comic-Thon 3 will finish this. Not today, because I had so many videos, and I had so much shit to do today. Tomorrow, the last 3 videos in Comic-Con 3 will be uploaded all at once. Because today you got Binding of Isaac, Afterbirth Saturday, you got POTATOCAST, and you got, 2 gameplay videos. So to throw 3 more videos on top of that's a bit much. So tomorrow I will put the Comic-Con stuff up. Anyway, I did a stream. I did a welcome back stream. Everything was going fine. But there was this nagging thought in the back of my head if I mean, I don't know if it's really going to work. Like, this could be a fluke. If I reboot, what happens if it doesn't work again? You know, I may be back to square one. So I was just like, well, I'm just not going to reboot. You know, I'm just going to leave the shit on, which is what I normally do anyway. But eventually I was forced to reboot because I was going to do a stream. And this was the night where I went out and I was like, hey, let's do a stream. And I put it out on Twitter and I put it out on Facebook. And I was like, let's do this. People were showing up. And I was like, wait a minute, my microphone's not working. And it happens occasionally with my mixing board not being seen by Windows. And the only thing to do, the only thing to fix that is to reboot. So that's what I did. I wound up rebooting. And I ran into the same problem. So, I don't know, it wasn't really fixed. It was just a fluke that it was working that time. And I put it into safe mode with networking, and I explained to people, hey, look, my computer had unfucked itself, and now it has refucked itself. Now, the good thing is, if you guys remember, and I was talking about this, I think in December, where I was talking about my plans for 2016 and all the sorts of things that I was planning out, and a new PC was a part of those plans, and it was going to be like, when I get my tax check, I'm going to spend that money on a new gaming rig and get a new PC, and there's all this other stuff I want to do. Like, one thing I definitely want to do is I want to get a new monitor. I'm supposed to get like some sort of $100 gift card from Dell. I want to figure out how that works, and I'm going to put that towards a new monitor. And because the monitor I have is old. It's not even from the first Alienware PC. It's from the Inspiron I had before that. It's not even widescreen. I mean, it is HD, but it's not widescreen. It's not, it's not modern. I would like a new monitor. So anyway, but a new PC was part of this, and I was like, the timing on this isn't terrible. It sucked that it happened in February with Comic-Con, but I had just done my taxes, and I was getting about $1,200 back, and I was just waiting on that money. This guy, Steven, emailed me. He sent me $150 through PayPal to help, and I put that towards the computer. So basically, with the $1,200 from tax money, the $150 he gave me, that's $1,350. And then I was willing to put like another $150 in for a budget of $1,500. And that's what I spent on this computer. And it's really nice. It's Windows 10. It's got a 4 gigahertz processor and it's quad core. I got the GTX 970, really great graphics card. I'll be set for a while on graphics. Got 16 gigs of RAM. Got a 2 terabyte hard drive. Everything's just great. Earlier I streamed a little Black Ops 3. It's funny. I tried to stream that game when it first came out, and like it couldn't handle it. I was able to play it on myself, but streaming it was another matter, and it was coming through for people like a slideshow. And for the people who showed up earlier for the stream where I was streaming Black Ops 3, they said it was really smooth and it was going really well. So I had fun. It was a little frustrating going back to that game and not remembering what all the buttons do, like what, or rather how to do certain, like I remember I was like, how do you switch into fucking technical mode? Because I was playing the first level and the guy's like, switch to tactical mode. And I'm like, how do I do that? And usually you get that pop-up that tells you how to do it, but I'm playing the game for the second time. So it's like, you got this, we're not going to give you those pop-ups. And I'm like, no, I need those pop-ups. Eventually figured it out. But there were a couple of things that I was like, what the fuck, But anyway, that being said, that's, the new computer's here. Videos are resuming as of like right now. You're listening to one of them, and Comic-Con 3 will be finished off tomorrow. Last 3 videos, TMNT, the 2014 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Hellboy 2 Golden Army. Those are the last 3 reviews. They'll be going up tomorrow. So I got to talk about the health stuff. So as you guys know, in January on the 13th, I was exposed to HIV. I did talk about this in a video, one of the face videos that I did, the selfie videos that I did with my phone while the computer really wasn't running. It was only running in safe mode. But I tell you, just to go through everything that happened, I want to tell you guys in detail everything that happened. Because all I said in the previous video was that I was exposed to HIV and that I don't have HIV. I did get a test back that came back negative. It was the second test. I have one more test, which is going to happen in July. That's like 6 months later. But that being said, So basically, I work in a facility where we take care of people who suffer from brain injury. And a lot of you guys might know that because I didn't mention it in the McJuggernuggets videos because I was talking about how he claims to be brain injured. And I call bullshit on that because I work with brain injury and I see all the different ways that it manifests, and it doesn't manifest in being like McJuggernuggets or any of the things, any of his behaviors that he blames on his brain injury. It's bullshit. It really is. But anyway, that being said, I do work in these facilities. Well, they're houses, you know, they're houses, they're homes where these people live, you know, 1 to 3 of them in a house, and they have like one staff there at all times, you know, just to help out with things, to help them integrate into the, my title is actually community service coordinator. And it's basically about helping these people live normal lives, you know, and integrating them into the community. And, you know, and there is a medical aspect to it. There's giving meds, there's doing some certain procedures like, well, I mean, I don't want to gross you guys out, but things like suppositories. And one of the things that you do have to do for some patients who can't do it for themselves, who are diabetic, is take their blood sugar. And it involves a little machine called the glucometer, a lancet, test strips. And basically you put the test strip into the glucometer and you prick their finger with the lancet, which you put it into, you don't have to like prick the finger. You put it into like a little pen thing and you put, you know, it stabs it for you. It's easier than actually trying to do it normally. But they have these little pen things, and then, you know, you squeeze a little drop of blood out, and you put it on the test strip, and then the glucometer tells you their blood sugar, and you can instruct them on what they need to do, if it's too high or too low, or really, usually I'm just documenting it. But we have this one patient, and of course I am not going to use any names, because that violates the HIPAA law. I can't tell you anything that would identify a patient. So anyway, we have this one patient. I'm going to call her D, because that's an initial. So D has only been with us for like a year. She's a really nice older lady. Her husband died, you know, and now she's here with us. And she's really cool. She's one of the ones that I really enjoy working with. And she's diabetic. And she also may have HIV. And I don't know if she does or not, to be honest with you, because there's some... I mean, when she came, they told us she has HIV. And then they told us, well, maybe she doesn't. But part of working in healthcare is exercising what is known as universal precautions. I think they actually don't even call it that anymore. That's when I was taught it. It was called universal precautions. I think they call it standard precautions now. But either way, it's basically you treat every patient as if they might have a bloodborne infectious disease like HIV or hepatitis. So it's all about protecting yourself. But even when you follow these precautions, you know, you're wearing gloves, using safety precautions, being careful, sometimes accidents still happen. The precautions drastically reduce the amounts of these accidents, but they still do happen. So what happened was after you can't use the same lancet over and over again because it would be tainted. So each time you use a lancet, they are disposable, and we have these like Sharps containers to put them in. And I was taking it out of the pen and putting it into the Sharps container, and the Sharps container was up on a file cabinet, so I was reaching up to put it up there, and I dropped the shit. I dropped it. I dropped the lancet. And when I was doing this, I was reaching up with my right hand, and I dropped it. And I reflexed. I reflexively caught it with my left hand. So, of course, it pierced my left hand. It went right into my palm. And that sucks. Like the ball of my palm, if that makes sense. You know how they say the ball of your foot? Like that area of your hand? Like right below my middle finger, you know, my favorite finger. So anyway, I was like, oh shit, you know, and I had to go to the hospital after work. I had to fill out a bunch of paperwork. Actually, I was supposed to go to a clinic in town, but they were closed. It was like a Wednesday, and they used to be open every day, but they've expanded their hours to be open more in the evening. But they're now closed on Wednesdays, which I think is bullshit. I'd rather they have shorter hours and be open every day than have longer hours and be closed on Wednesday. So I went to the hospital, which is actually in New York. I'm pretty close to New York. Went there, and they, the doctors, I told them what happened, and they asked me a whole bunch of questions. And it was freaky. I tell you, I was scared, but at the same time, I knew that it's a very low chance of actually getting HIV from this type of exposure. HIV is not the easiest thing to get. I mean, it's easy to get through sexual contact. It's easy to get through transfusion of blood. But something like this, I mean, the type of needle was not the type that holds blood. There was no blood visible on the needle. Even though it did prick me, it didn't stay in there long. I washed my hands right afterwards. I used an alcohol pad. So anyway, there were a lot of things that made it where I had a very low chance of actually catching HIV. And luckily, I did not. I have 2 negative tests so far, and I'm pretty sure the one in July is going to be negative as well. I have no reason to believe that it would be anything otherwise. But what they do, see, they told me, they gave me a test there. I did a whole bunch of blood work, and they said this test's going to be negative because it's only like an hour or 2 after exposure. So this is meaningless. It's the one that you're going to take in a month that's going to matter. So I was like, okay. But what they do when you might be exposed is they give you what's called post-exposure prophylaxis, which is similar to the treatment to HIV. When you have HIV, there are these meds that you take. They're called antiretrovirals. And they're super expensive pills that you take that basically prevent the virus from making copies of itself. So they put me on one of these meds, which is called Truvada. Anyway, I started taking the Truvada, and then they said that I would have to... And by the way, I didn't have to pay for any of this. This is all through Workman's Comp. But that I would have to see a doctor once a week to check on my kidney function because that can be affected by Truvada. So I was going for blood work every week, and they're telling me, oh, your kidneys are fine, your kidneys are fine. And eventually they said, you don't need to do the blood work anymore because we know how you react to these meds. It would have shown something by now. And I was like, okay. So here's the thing, though. Truvada has a lot of side effects. It has so many side effects. And I did experience some of them. I experienced the tiredness and the occasional dizziness. And then it was starting to get better. I'm actually off these meds now. I just want to get that out of the way and tell you that right now. After the test came back negative, I asked if I should stop the Truvada. And my doctor told me to continue taking it. Because I was originally prescribed... You see, the whole thing was confusing. Because it was prescribed by this doctor at the hospital who told me that I would take it for 4 weeks. And that made sense to me because 4 weeks is a month and I was going to take the test in a month. But he prescribed 90 days worth, which is 3 months. So he was like, yeah, just keep taking it, just to be safe. And I was like, okay, no problem. Because apparently you can have a little bit of HIV in you, and it would show up on a test as negative. And basically, what the Truvada does is it stops the virus from making copies of itself. And unless there's like a lot of it in you, if there's only like a tiny bit, if they can't make copies of themselves, eventually it's just going to die out. It's going to like die of old age in your body. But anyway, so he was like, just keep taking it just in case. And I was like, all right, that sucks, but I kept taking it. Well, I also had a physical. I had a physical the other day, and it did not go so well. And the doctor told me a bunch of things. Some of it I knew because I looked at my test results on the internet before I went to the doctor. Like one thing that I knew, and I kind of anticipated this, was that my cholesterol was high. And I kind of knew it because I am a big fat motherfucker who eats a lot of really rich food. I don't want to say junk food because I don't think I eat too much junk food. But I don't eat the healthiest stuff. I'm always eating, stuff that's like really rich, so to speak. I eat a lot of eggs. I eat a lot of I eat a lot of red meat, and I eat a lot of cheese. And I've been trying to eat healthier, but I hadn't been trying hard enough, and my good cholesterol was low, my bad cholesterol was high. But that wasn't what was concerning me, because I knew, like, I'm a big fat motherfucker and I probably have high cholesterol. And I knew that going in. But there were a few things that I looked at on the test results that were kind of like, that's kind of concerning, but I really don't know what it means. Some of it had to do with my liver. Some of it had to do with my thyroid. And I started looking into things, and it seems that this could be side effects of the Truvada. Because apparently Truvada can cause liver dysfunction, and it could cause thyroid dysfunction. And you combine that with being overweight, like I am, and it could be a real problem. And the doctor thinks that because he said the ratios roll off, like high cholesterol is one thing, but having very low good cholesterol is weird. And he says the problems that I'm having with my liver might push my cholesterol up, you know? So anyway, I'm going to have to take an ultrasound, which sucks. I still have to schedule that. I'm going to do that tomorrow. I got to call them because tomorrow's Monday. No, tomorrow's Sunday. On Monday, I got to call and schedule an ultrasound. I got to go to New Jersey for that. That fucking sucks. Just to take a poke around and look inside me and see what the hell's going on. Because when I'm taking the physical, the doctor was a little concerned with the numbers, but like not super concerned. But then he started doing that thing, like he was doing all the normal stuff. Like he's looking at my eyes, he's looking at my ears, he's checking my reflexes. Everything's coming out fine. He's checking my balance. That's fine. You know, everything's fine. And then he does that thing where he's like, lay back, and he's like, pull up your shirt, and he starts touching my stomach. And I hate this because I am super fucking ticklish. And I told him that I'm like, I am super fucking ticklish. And he goes, that's all right. And I'm like, well, it's all right for you. What about me? And I'm like sitting there trying not to giggle, and I'm like, oh Jesus, as he's putting his hands on me. And he tells me that my liver is enlarged. So that's why I'm taking an ultrasound, and I have an enlarged liver. And I think it could be due to the Truvada. He thinks it could be due to diet. So I'm like, all right, here's the thing. I'm going to take this ultrasound, and hopefully everything will turn out okay. He told me, stop taking the Truvada. I've stopped taking the Truvada. I don't think I really need it because I don't have HIV, but I'm glad to be off of it. But I've decided that, you know what? I'm 35 years old. I haven't been a kid in a while. You know what I mean? I'm an adult. I've been an adult for like 15 years now. I'm a little longer than that, but like, I got to get my shit together. And I've made this decision to really make a real change in my life. And, the doctor, he wants me to lose about 70 pounds, which I'm like, you know what? I think I can do this. So this is the beginning of the new me, and essentially, because, and I'm starting to think that this HIV exposure, this little pinprick, may have been the best thing to ever fucking happen to me, because I never went to the doctor. Doctor's somewhere you go if you're sick. You know what I mean? I was never one to go for checkups or go for physicals like that. So getting pressured into getting the physical by the doctor because I was there for blood work and looking after my kidney function, all this shit, it all led to discovering a problem with my liver, possible problem with the thyroid. I'm going to be taking these hormone pills called Synthroid. That's another thing that's going to be going on. So, I'm pretty familiar with Synthroid because a lot of my patients at work take it. But, I'm like, I don't want to like be this guy that's like on meds all the time and is sick and has like a liver problem. And you know what? Maybe it was caused by the Truvada. And maybe now that I've stopped taking it, my liver will shrink back down to normal size. My thyroid will be fine. And everything will be fine. But I can't go on being overweight my whole life. I don't want to be. I'll live longer. You know what I mean? My father had a heart attack when he was in his 50s. That was stress related. But still, it's a history of heart problems, in the family. So, two things that I'm doing. One is diet, and the other is exercise. And I'm going to be doing this, and And I'm going to kind of be leaning on you guys a little bit. I want you guys to bug me. I want you to ask me about how it's going. I want you to make me have to answer you about this. Ask me how it's going. I may buy a scale. I don't know. I have to go to Walmart. I'll have to see how much they cost. I'm a little low on funds right now because I just bought a computer and did all this grocery shopping and shit. I just went to Walmart earlier and I bought a whole bunch of healthy food. Let me tell you what I bought. I bought chicken. I bought the skinless, boneless chicken, their thighs. I'm going to trim all the fat off of it, and I'm going to grill it. I'm not going to fry it or anything. I'm going to grill it. I got... oh, fucking hell. You know what I forgot to get is teriyaki sauce. I can go get that tomorrow, because I was going to make a big stir fry. But I bought vegetables. I bought mostly vegetables and stuff like fruits. I bought a lot of bell peppers, because I do like to snack on bell peppers, and plus I'll grill those up too. I bought broccoli, I bought green onions, I bought a white onion, I bought healthy snacks. I got some raw almonds with no salt or anything, and they're pretty good. And I got like some Triscuits, the better, and I actually went and compared like all the flavors of Triscuits to see which is the best one for you. I didn't buy the shit that I usually buy. I didn't buy eggs, I didn't buy butter, I didn't buy sausage, I didn't buy all the breakfast crap that I eat all the time. So, and I've just decided I'm gonna go for a run every day. I did my first one at 5:30 in the morning, which is about an hour ago. And I got back and I was talking to Andrew, and he actually texted me right when I was going out. I was like, I'm going on a run. I'll be right back. And I did it. I had my phone playing Pandora, Dr. Dre and going, Ice Cube and all this shit. And it's tough, because I'm a big fat motherfucker. But I went, I don't want to use the term around the block because it's not a block. It's about a quarter of a mile loop because I live on a loop. I don't know how to explain it better than that. It took me about 15 minutes. I wasn't able to run the whole way, but I kept moving the whole time. And I thought, this is hard, but it's only going to get easier. And if I keep at it, if I do it every day, that's the thing. I'm a little concerned about what to do when the weather's bad. Like what to do when it's like pouring rain or like snow. We're done with snow, but we're coming into spring. It's going to be raining sometimes. I don't know. I might run in the rain. I might have to get a fucking umbrella or something, or I might just have to, I don't know, stay at home and do sit-ups for 20 minutes or something. But I'm making a change, man, and like I said, I want to lean on you guys a little bit. I want you guys to ask me occasionally how it's going, and, just remind me of it, I got to take this fucking ultrasound. I got to do all this bullshit. I don't want to go through this. I don't want to be this guy that's always going to the hospital, always going to the doctor. I'm sick of the doctor, okay? He's a nice guy, but I'm fucking sick of him, okay? I'm sick of having to take time out of my schedule where I work 2 jobs and I have all these hobbies and shit, and I have a relationship and I have a family and I have all this crap going on, and I gotta go to the fucking doctor all the time? Fuck that, bro. Hell to the no. Hell no to the no. Hell to the no. So, like I said, I bought all this healthy stuff. I bought carrots, too. It's another thing. I was talking about healthy stuff. I bought almonds. I also bought walnuts and the Triscuits I mentioned. And I think that's it. Like I said, the chicken, all the vegetables and shit. I said broccoli, carrots, all that stuff. I'm going to make a beef stir fry. I got to buy the sauce. I got to buy the teriyaki sauce. But I'm trying to eat healthier. I'm not trying to eat healthy. I've been trying to eat healthier. I'm not trying. I am doing. That's what I'm going to do. I'm doing. I ain't trying. And I will give myself cheat days because I was reading that, you should... Like, people are going to cheat on a diet. That's the thing. And you shouldn't beat yourself up over it. So I've actually scheduled cheat days where I could have pizza or where I could have like Chinese food. And even then I'm going to try and, keep it in restraint. Like pizza, I don't need to get it with like pepperoni or sausage or maybe just, onions, anchovies. I like that too. I like a lot of vegetables on my pizza. Chinese food. Maybe I'll get the chicken and the broccoli with white rice. I like it. Why not? So, but I'm gonna schedule. I once every 2 weeks a cheat day where I could eat something. Maybe I'll go to McDonald's. I'll try to get the grilled chicken. But I'm gonna try my best here. I'm not gonna try. I'm gonna do it. But I have scheduled days where I can kick back a little bit and have the cheat day so I don't go insane here. But I think it's going to be a positive thing. I think that I'm going to be a lot healthier. Yeah. That's really it. I want to let you guys know what's going on. I do got some fucking problems. The doctor's appointment yesterday didn't go exactly as planned. Having to do this fucking ultrasound. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't want to do it. I really don't want to do it. But I guess you have to. I guess that's part of life. You got to do what you got to do. And not bitch about it. I mean, you can bitch about it a little bit, but after a while it becomes excessive. So, I just wanted to mention one last thing before I go. I had the weirdest fucking dream the other day. I mentioned it on Twitter, but I just want to, because I think it's really funny. It's one of the funniest dreams I've ever had. I had a dream where Kermit the Frog was running for mayor of Los Angeles against Ralph Nader and some other guy. There was some other guy involved. Like, basically, Nader and this other guy were going against each other for mayor of Los Angeles, and Kermit decided to enter the race. And then the other guy dropped out, which actually gave Kermit a chance, because I think he endorsed Kermit. So Kermit and Ralph Nader were going against each other for mayor of Los Angeles. And I was his campaign manager. Kermit, not Nader. That would be ridiculous. That's a dream I had. There was this whole thing with a newspaper that I was trying to pick up, and Miss Piggy was yelling at me about... all the Muppets were in this, by the way. It wasn't just Kermit. Miss Piggy was yelling at me because I had an umbrella, and I went to pick up this newspaper, and then she was getting wet, and she's like yelling at me and shit, and I'm like, yo, bitch, calm down. It was well, that's what I was thinking. It's what I wasn't saying that, but yo, what a fucking dream, right? I was talking to Hitomi about it, and I was like, right before I was going to go to sleep again, and I was like, I gotta go to bed. I can't let Ralph Nader be the mayor of Los Angeles. That would just be silly, But I never had another dream like that. It never followed up. Let me guys know, apparently I'm not the only one to have dreams with Muppets in it. I was talking to my friend Joe the Cripple. He's had Muppet dreams in the past. He's had multiple Muppet dreams. And I was telling him about this the other day. I said that I had the weirdest dream. And he's like, oh, I like weird dreams. Tell me about it. And I was like, well, the Muppets were in it. And he's like, I'm so proud of you, John. This is your first Muppet dream. And because he has them all the time, But I was thinking, I kind of know where it came from. I was reading, actually, that it could be a side effect of Truvada. Believe it or not, like, really vivid, strange dreams are another side effect. If you were to look up the side effects of Truvada, there's so many. Like, one website doesn't even have them all, because then it'll go to another website and they'll list different ones. But I kind of think that it was because I binged watched Season 4 of House of Cards and then watched The Muppets, the ABC show. I watched like 2 episodes of that to catch up on that, and then went to bed. So I watched like the new season of House of Cards dropped on like March 4th, and I watched it in 2 days. I finished on the 6th, and then I was done. And then I watched The Muppets, and then I had this dream. So politics, Kermit, Piggy, all this stuff. Rizzo was there. I think Pepe was there. I don't know, man. I don't know what party Kermit was in. I mean, I want to make the joke that he would be in the Green Party, because he's a frog, he's green, it isn't easy being green. But I think that's the party that Nader's in, so it's like, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Anyway, I'm done. I'm very tired. I'm shopping. I did the stream. This POTATOCAST. I went for a run. I'm tired. I need to chillax for a bit. Nibble on my fucking almonds here. It ain't so bad. I'm gonna tell you, it ain't so bad. And yeah, I'm sure I'm gonna get those cravings, and it's gonna hit me hard. But then, like I said, I got those scheduled cheat days where I can not completely cut loose and be a gavone, but where I can let my hair down a little, so to speak, and eat something a little crazy, but not too crazy. But anyway, wish me luck, guys. I'm gonna do this, and yeah, give me your questions and comments. I do love reading them, and I'm very happy to be back. Okay, even though all this shit's going on in my abdomen, I'm really happy to be back. I'm loving the new computer. I will be doing streams occasionally. Keep an eye out for those. And I wanted to do a stream, right around now, in the month, but like a major one that I would announce. But this whole thing threw it off. I'll probably do one. I'm probably going to have a bunch of them in April because I do have some vacation time coming up. So it's funny. I was talking to Andrew and I said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to be taking vacation next month." And he goes, "Where are you going?" And I'm like, "Going to sit on my ass and play video games." Like, where am I going? I'm just taking a week off of work. I'm not going anywhere. I guess they call that a staycation. I think Al Bundy invented that. But anyway, I'm out of here, you guys.